evening, good evening. I want to welcome you to tonight's Bible study. I am the spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you joined me on this fine day. Yes, we are going from Genesis to Revelation in chronological order. Excuse me, truck driver. I saw your name and got choked up. No, something went down my windpipe. But I am the spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you joined us as we take this journey from Genesis to Revelations in chronological order. I got DJ Rock and Ron out there, and that's my brother. So much love to you. Thank you for stopping by this evening. And again, Truck Driver 57, that's my guy. So good to see both of you in the house. Now, I don't belabor the time. I try to touch on the scriptures and move right on. We are in the throes yet and still. We are in the throes of this time when it's wars and rumors of wars going on. But it's not just rumors of war. They're literally killing each other here in the scriptures. Now, if I was really going to take a little thought tonight, I looked at the three options that we had. The officers of the state at this time, we'll find that in 2 Samuel chapter 20, verses 23 through 26. Then the famine in the league with the Gibeonites. I'm going to focus on that tonight. That is circa 991 to 989 BC, 992 to 900 BC, roughly thereabout. Good evening, Cassandra. I see you. So much love to you, my sister. And that's found in 2 Samuel 21, verses 1 through 14. The Psalms that came from that would have been Psalms 29 verses 1 through 11, Psalm 65 verses 1 through 13. And then the last item that we had, the last war with the Philistines, or some of you say Philistines, circa 988 BC. That's in 2 Samuel 21, 15 through 22, and 1 Chronicles 20, verses 4 through 8. And out of that, we get Psalms 36, verses 1 through 12. Now, as I said, I'm going to choose tonight, if you want to go to 2 Samuel 21, verses 1 through 14. That's what I'm going to opt to speak on tonight. And I think what I want to bring out of that is the idea that, you need to be careful how you deal with folks, because at the end of the day, you never know who you're going to need at some point in time in this life. So that's where I want to go this evening. Dr. Dady Priest, it's good to see you in the house on today. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I want to kind of touch on this just a little bit. Hold on just a second. Let me try to get myself together here. Make a few adjustments. And hopefully I didn't make it worse. DJ P Fu, I see you. That's my brother. I see you again, Dr. Dady Priest, the high priestess is in the house. I appreciate you all for being here. Now, I am looking and I'm identifying a couple of things. And y'all just don't act like you don't see my background. This story that I'm going to opt to pull out of tonight's teaching from the scriptures that we have. Again, I'm going to go back and say you never know who you're going to have to go back to before this life is over. So in 2 Samuel, I'm just going to kind of talk through it. We start off with there's a famine in the land. And so David and the Israelites find themselves with scarcity of food. And it would be such that the Gibeonites have some food. The Gibeonites have substance. And so David basically has to come back to the Gibeonites and ask for them to share their goods with them so that they can survive the famine. Now, the issue is that before David came on the scene, Saul had decimated the Gibeonites. So I want to just kind of read through it. Saul had decimated the Gibeonites, and I'm going to say needlessly so. And you know, as if the murder and the killing isn't enough, to go to the extreme and just be, you know, in an exaggerated way. So now David has to come back to these same Gibeonites that Saul has mercilessly, what am I trying to say? Mercilessly uh, killed and destroyed, and ask them to help in their time of need. Now there's a depth to this story, because so many times you find KB Browns, I see you. So many times you see individuals that mistreat and really dog out folks, and then those are the same folks they have to go right back to it and ask them for help. So I'm just going to read through this passage of scripture. It's only 14 verses, and some of you may have never heard this story. Maybe you've heard the story of Rizpah, and the story of Rizpah is such that she happens to be one of the concubines of Saul, whose children, you'll get the gist of this as it goes on, ends up being offered to the Gibeonites to make restitution, if you will, for them to go ahead and assist the children of Israel on David's behalf, after Saul had dealt so terribly with them. And probably if you've heard this story, you hear about how she went out and waved off the vultures and the what would have gone out to the carcasses and just picked them to pieces. This is just, I'm telling y'all, some of these stories, they're just so cruel and merciless and unkind that I just, as I said to you before, I'm just not one of those that can get into these scriptures and get real hyped up about them and start preaching how God allowed this and that and the other, because it's just so much death and destruction. And as I said on yesterday, and I'm going to continue to say, if we can come together and unite to kill, we can definitely come together and unite to heal. I believe that with all my heart. But let me read the scriptures to you so you get the gist if you've not heard this story before. And I'm reading out of the NIV version. During the reign of David, there was a famine for 3 successive years. So David sought the face of the Lord. The Lord said, "It is on account of Saul and his blood-stained house. It's because he put the Gibeonites to death." The king summoned the Gibeonites and spoke to them. Now we're saying David. David called the Gibeonites and spoke to them. Now the Gibeonites were not part of the house of Israel, but were survivors of the Amorites. The Israelites had sworn to spare them. Now here we go. We broke a treaty. We broke an agreement. The Israelites had sworn to spare them, but Saul, in his zeal for Israel and Judah, tried to annihilate them. David asked the Gibeonites, "What shall I do for you? How shall I make atonement so that you will bless the Lord's inheritance?" So here we go. We want to bring up the Lord's inheritance, and we are the people of the Lord, but you mistreated these people. You lied to them. You made a treaty. And this is under Saul, not under David. You made a treaty with them that you would spare them, and then you turned around and killed them. Now, as I said, there's nothing new under the sun, and so much of this story reminds me of some of the current behavior that we have going on in the land right now. I mean, it's this same kind of ridiculous behavior. And that's why I'm saying, if I have any takeaway, I'm going to tell you my takeaway is continuously. This is this same kind of ridiculous energy that they have extracted for their own purposes out of the Bible and tried to operate under this same energy, which is just as wrong as 2 left shoes. Now, so again, to bring us up to speed, the Israelites made a pact, an agreement, and a treaty. My goodness, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about Ukraine, and anyway, we made an agreement, and then we turn around and do the exact opposite of what we said we're going to do, and we kill them. Now, you need food and supplies. These are the same folks you got to go back to. And I feel like this is the same energy as far as, you know, y'all know I'm on my Al Kebulin kick right now, because again, Africa as the cradle of civilization and our birthright and where we hail from in our origins, I look at that and I say, how much do so many of the countries that have colonized them, that have taken advantage of them? And I feel at the end of the day, I really do believe that folks are going to have to go back to Mother Africa, and again, Alkebulan, as I'd like to call it at this point, since that is the actual name, not the Roman name of Africa that was given to it. And I believe there's going to be a reckoning. So that's where I'm going to take this story. Number one, be careful how you treat people, because some of those very ones that you mistreated, the very ones that you lied to, the very ones that you tricked, you're going to have to go back to them and ask them for their help. And number two, there is a reckoning for those that have been mistreated. All right. Now, so the Gibeonites answered and said, we have no right to demand silver or gold from Saul or his family, nor do we have the right to put anyone in Israel to death. Because Israel, we're separating out the country of Israel that made this treaty, and Saul, who got full of himself and just came out here and started killing a bunch of people. We're going to separate and make a difference between the two. And so David says to them, what do you want me to do for you then? Verse 5, they answered the king. Now this is where it just gets so heinous and so, but how be ever, as one of the old mothers used to say. As for the man who destroyed us, they're talking about Saul, and plotted against us so that we have been decimated. And I almost hope they're going to do this with this current administration, because we've made enemies of so many countries and so many people right now. I hope that they come back and they don't take it out on the United States, but deal with the one that did it. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say about that. As for the one who did this and decimated us, and listen, let 7 of his male descendants be given to us to be killed, and their bodies exposed before the Lord at Gibeah of Saul, the Lord's chosen one. So David, the king, said, I will give them to you. So basically, what the trade-off here is, Gibeah, listen, facts. Folks mistreated Jesus, but everyone will have to stand before him on that day. Come on here, KB Browns. And not only Jesus, there's a whole lot of people besides Jesus that fall in that category. Now, so at the end of the day, here we are, and the trade-off is 7 of his male heirs. Because remember, and this whole energy of procreation, this whole energy behind males and the lineage and the continuation is just so to the extreme to me, but it makes sense to somebody. Verse 7, so the king spared Mephibosheth. Now you remember Mephibosheth was the son of Jonathan, who when they were trying to escape for their lives, Mephibosheth's nursemaid dropped him and he became lame in his feet. And so he was really a sitting duck and easy prey for anybody to kill. But again, David showed Mephibosheth no small kindness by bringing him into the king's house and sitting him at the king's table because of his love for Jonathan. So here we have David spares Mephibosheth, who is Jonathan's son and the grandson of Saul, because of the oath before the Lord between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. But the king took Ammoni and Mephibosheth, the 2 sons of Ai's daughter, Rizpah, whom she had borne to Saul, together with the 5 sons of Saul's daughter, Merab, whom she had borne to Adriel, son of Barzillai, the Moabite. He handed them over to the Gibeonites, who killed them and exposed their bodies on a hill before the Lord. Now, y'all, this is just too much. It's too much. So they kill him and then they put him out on display and hang him out there for everybody to see. And all 7 of them fell together And they were put to death during the first days of the harvest, just as the barley harvest was beginning. And Rizpah, the daughter of Ai, took sackcloth and spread it out for herself on a rock, from the beginning of the harvest till the rain poured down from the heavens on the bodies. She did not let the birds touch them by day or by night, or the wild animals. When David was told of Rizpah, Saul's concubine, and what she had done, he went and took the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan from the citizens of Jabesh Gilead. Now, so to get that part, when they killed Jonathan and Saul, the enemy took their bones and took them into their territory. So as David hears about Rizpah, who's out here mourning in sackcloth and ashes, and she's waving off the wild beast, she's waving off the bird, from the time of the harvest until the rain poured down. I mean, and this is a concubine, mind you. This is one of Saul's concubines who had bare him sons, but she loved her children. Now, honey, that's just the way mothers are as we roll up on Mother's Day. Honey, I don't care. She's like, listen, Saul may have done y'all dirty. And at the end of the day, this is the agreement that the king made with you. But even though I have to acquiesce and allow you to kill my children, I will not allow the wild beasts and the birds to come out here and just pick them and peck them apart. I just can't do it. I just cannot. And so because of that, David was moved and he goes into the city in this agreement. Again, all of this is because they needed the Gibeonites to provide for them during this time of famine. So there's some giving and some taking that's going on here. We give you the 7 offspring of Saul. We get the bones of Jonathan and Saul back and bring them back into our land. And then here we got poor Rizpah out here. If you can get the visual on this, out here in sackcloth and fighting off wild beasts and birds. This story, Lord Jesus. So they buried the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan in the tomb of Saul's father Kish at Zelah in Benjamin, and did everything that the king commanded. And after that, God answered the prayers on behalf of the land. So this is what we kind of see, and I'm gonna come back. So all of this because, number one, Saul didn't keep the covenant and agreement that he made with the people. And I think this is something that we have to take into account. Many of the people will say, because of the fact that they were heathen, because of the fact that, whatever you want to try to assess and apply to their characters negatively, and I'm talking about the Gibeonites, to justify your wrongful behavior. There is no justification. As my great uncle and my grandfather used to say, your word is your bond. If you put your word out there, it should mean something. There is nothing that allows you to come back and turn on your word and just do whatever you want to do. Even if you want to say but, and whatever you want to put behind that but to justify the breaking of your word should mean something. And even what we see happen here with David spares Mephibosheth because of the vow and the covenant that he had made with Jonathan. Now, Jonathan's dead. Jonathan doesn't know, he has no clue what's going on. It does not change the fact that because David had made the covenant and the vow to Jonathan, he kept that vow. Now, that's what I really would rather pull out of this story than all these other gory details that are just almost, to me, inhumane. The whole pact and agreement to me all the way around was just outrageous. Saul's behavior was outrageous. the agreement of 7 dead folks, seven, and they had to be males, not just because again, we're eliminating his lineage. You came in and you killed us and killed us to the death, if you will. Now we gonna kill your family to the death. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth leaves everybody blind and toothless. I cannot espouse to that kind of energy. I just cannot. And however we want to see it as some level of spiritual, I am not able to embrace that personally. I just am not. Now, y'all go right on, shout on it, preach on it, and have a good time on it. I just feel, again, we're talking about centuries ago. It was okay for centuries ago, but my goodness, we're in 2025. And I'm going to reiterate, this same behavior is going on in 2025. This same behavior is going on in 2025. And we got folks that are co-signing. We got church folks. When I tell y'all, why am I so cautious about labeling myself as a Christian? Because of the terrible company that it keeps, especially at this point in time, and the fact that I know that down through the centuries, it's not nothing new under the sun, but down through the centuries, there has been this foul demon and this foul spirit attached to that for whatever reason, we close our eyes and we give it a pass. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And not because I'm being self-righteous. That's not where I am with it. I'm like, at the end of the day, there's so much murder and killing and bloodlust and I cannot. When the pedophilia, the incest, and I miss me with that. So at the end of the day, I say that was back then. This is 2025. And this same energy is still here, though. That's the part that I'm addressing. Because a lot of people are still feeling that energy is okay. And that is really the energy, if I can tell the truth and shame the devil, that's driving this country right now. Even the fact of, when you come down to just killing people and don't care, killing people and have absolutely, because they're a stranger in the land or because of this and that. We have to, in 2025, I believe, rethink much of this theology and much of this energy that this type of scripture releases into the minds and hearts of people, because some people are twisted anyway. Their hearts are twisted. One of my favorite lines out of The Last of the Mohicans, Magua's heart is twisted. And what you get when you have people that already have twisted hearts and twisted minds, they will mistreat people. And then at the end of the day, come on, truck driver. And then at the end of the day, the very people, and this is where I want us to take peace and recognize God is not a liar. What you sow, you're going to reap. So as David had to go back, hat in hand, so to speak, and go back to the big Gibeonites who had what he needed and ask them, what do I have to do to get you all's help? I know we mistreated y'all. I know we broke our treaty with you. I know that you were wronged. Now, we need your help. What do I need to do? And some of us, I'm going to tell you what. Some of us have danced around situations and scenarios where you need to go back hat in hand and say, I know I wronged you. I know I mistreated you. I know, and just go back to that point and get it right so you can move forward. Because again, it was not until after that was addressed that the Lord began to hear their prayers. Now, if y'all didn't catch that in the last verse, after that, God turned it so that God would hear their prayers, because God is a just God. And this is part of why I say some of this that we've allowed to pass, I'm going to put that in the same category as when Jesus go to the new covenant when he starts talking about divorcement, and he says, listen, and don't get legalistic on me here, but he says, from the beginning it was not so, but the hardness of your heart the law was given. I want us to recognize that some of this stuff, it wasn't God to begin with, because look at what happens. Out of this unjust behavior, God stops hearing their prayer. We just float and glide over that like that's not there. Like, oh, do whatever you want to do, and everything is just fine and dandy. No, when they went back and got it right, the Bible said, and the Lord started to hear their prayer again. So true, because I had to do that to so many people that I did. Truck driver, listen, even in the 12-step process, one of the things that they address, you got to go back and make amends. You can't just from this point forward and do your partner on, let's just dance on down, ease on down the road. It does not work like that. And I'm going to tell you this as well. There are some people that are trying to figure out, why can I move forward and why can I prosper? Because some of those folk are going to have to come back to you. There are some people that have wronged you. There are some people that have broken covenant with you. There are some people that have, and God is like, listen, until you go back and get that right, you might as well know these prayers are just bouncing off the walls. Am I talking to anybody? And this is where I want you, again, not to take glory and start gloating in that. But sometimes I just sit back and I watch, because I'm like, baby, you just banging your head against the wall. Keep on banging it. Keep on banging it. Because till you do right by me, I felt the spirit of Sealy. Until you do right by me, there are things that I don't care, because God is a just God. Dr. Dady, come on. Some of y'all, you just might as well go on until you do right by me. I feel the spirit of Sealy on this Bible story. Because at the end of the day, you can't just mistreat people and go on down the road. Humbleness and transparency work with the people and God. Come on here. And I want us to, this is the thing. If you want to be a person of character, be humble enough. Thank you for that, Cassandra. Be humble enough to go back and make amends where you need to make amends. Don't just carry on like nothing. And listen, I'm gonna tell you what, and I'm this is what God loves, and it's the truth right now. There are a couple of situations right now. People can say, I think you need to do this. I think you need to do that. I'm like Miss Sealy. Until you do right by me, I'm not getting ready to come back. I'm not getting ready to adjust. I'm not getting ready to adapt. And let me tell you what, to some extent rather, there is that where y'all see I'm halfway distracted because I need to do a quick band right here. But to some extent rather, I'm like, no, I am not getting ready to act in my normal behavior. That's the issue, because typically my norm, and I need y'all to hear me. Some of y'all really need to hear this. My norm in the past has been that I would always just start right back just like nothing ever happened. And listen. So that's it, and that's all. Some of y'all need to stop that behavior, because all it does is embolden. And the first time, it's like, okay. The second time, it's like, The third time, but listen. I finally had a light go off, Dr. Dady, that said, no, ma'am, no, sir. I'm not going to come back. We're not going to act like pick right up where we left off and business as usual. You can smile at me. I'm going to smile back. But at the end of the day, we're not getting ready to pick back up where we left off, because your partner, this ain't the first rodeo, and we've done this before. And at some point, this is the thing. You have to come to a place and point where you begin to honor yourself. Some of us have dishonored ourselves by allowing people to just go. And this is the thing. Notice what the Gibeonites said. The Gibeonites said, we can't ask. They knew their parameters. They didn't try to dibble and dally over into areas that y'all didn't offend me, so that's not the issue. We're not getting ready to make everybody suffer because of Saul. And this is what you have to make. Don't make everybody suffer because of one person, one scenario, whatever the case may be. However, when David asked them, what do we need to do to make this right? That's where the reconciliation started. That's where the ability to help was rekindled. David had to come back and come correct. What do I need to do? What do we as the children of Israel need to do to make this right? Some of you need to stand your ground, and until people come back to do it right, let them skate right on their merry way. But at the same time, don't think you're going to come back and get all the blessings and all the favors and all the no ma'am, no sir. That no ma'am, no sir. It's just not gonna happen. You just not gonna float back up in here. A long-handled spoon equals long-distance love. I can love you from afar, my dear. I can love you, and this is the thing as well. These types of individuals, Cassandra, are the ones that, just like David, the children of Israel needed something. And they have that way of just kind of sauntering back up to you, slinking back up to you, because they need something. And the whole so-called reestablishment of the relationship is really about, I need something from you, even though I mistreated you, even though I whatever, fill in the blank. But now I need something. Can I just come back? And this is where I'm telling those that have really found yourselves time and time again, just going back out and continuing to dish out and be a blessing, continuing. And listen, I need you to hear God. There are going to be times when God's going to tell you, in spite of a scenario, be a blessing. But then there are going to be times when God is like, I blessed you with that until they come correct. No, ma'am, no, sir. I will not hear those prayers until they come back right. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I think that we miss this and we're imbalanced in this way because we just act like business as usual and nothing is hindered. But your prayers are hindered. The relationship is hindered. There are so many things that are hindered because we have not been humble enough to come back and ask for forgiveness. We've not been humble enough to come back and apologize. We haven't been humble enough to acknowledge. And that's what I love. And I'm going to say this about Truck Driver, because I know the way that he operates. And I've walked part of this journey with him. His ability and his desire and the energy that he, with so much passion, has gone back to make amends. That's when you know a person's heart is right. When they are willing to make amends for where they've wronged you. Am I making sense? And so many times, people's hearts are not right. They just want to come back and get what they can get. And this, I'm going to say this, is even a part of stewardship. Stewardship says you can't come back without having made amends and think that the blessing is still available to you. Am I talking to anybody? You can't just walk back without having made amends and think that the blessing is just automatically available to you, because that's what you've done every other time. And that's what the expectation is. And I'm going to say this as I get ready to wrap this up. Sometimes they've already sized you up. They've already anticipated what your behavior and what your response is going to be. And some of y'all just need to shock some folks. Just shock their socks off. And not just for shock value, but you need to do something different. You need to bring a different level of respect to yourself, a respect to your blessing and what you offer, a respect, because people will come and take, offend, and then come back and take some more. And we have to be good stewards of what God has given us, which also includes saying no. If you're not going to take this blessing with the right, come on, Dr. Dady. If you're not going to take this blessing with the right spirit, I cannot give it to you. I can't bless you with it because I'm a good steward. I'm a good steward of what God has given me. And it comes to that point of casting your pearls before the swine, because the Bible said the swine are just going to trample them underfoot. It has no value to them. It means nothing to them. The price of that pearl, the beauty of that pearl means nothing to the swine. That's why they just trample it underfoot. It's the people way. But like you said, we've got to be good stewards, KB Browns. And I want us to think about that. God gave us the gifts and the blessings that we have. He doesn't intend for them to just throw out willy-nilly, just anywhere. And again, I'm going to come back to the analogy. It's pearls before swine to be trampled underfoot. No, ma'am, no, sir. And this is where our stewardship starts taking a turn in the road because we understand the value. It's not about trying to punish somebody. It's not about trying to make somebody grovel. It's not about trying to make somebody come to them, us operating with them in a condescending way, in some how great I am. No, it's about understanding the value of what you possess and who you give it to and where you place it. All right. And so even here with the Gibeonites, David had to come correct. Saul did it, but David had to make it right. We can't just act like it didn't happen. It was country against country. Saul was the representative for the Israelite people. And so, listen, I hope out of all of the goriness, I'm trying to sidestep all of that. But what can I pull out of this story? That you can't just wrong people and move on like nothing ever happened. You just cannot. If you are a person of character, if you are a person that cares, you cannot. So this is a part of integrity. It really is. It's a part of integrity. How do I deal with those that I've offended? How do I deal with those that I've wronged? How do I deal with those that I need to go back and make amends? And then the flip side of that coin, how do you allow people to deal with you? Because some of us, can I say this? I told somebody, and I ain't even lying. I told somebody I was so sick and tired of a situation and so beat down and so wounded and so hurt. And I said to them, I said to my friend, I didn't say to them, but I said to my friend, I'm tired of taking the high road. I'm not lying. I'm tired of taking the high road. Why do I always have to be the one to take the high road? Does anybody in here know what I'm talking about? There come points in times where you get, but then this is also the flip side of that truth. There are times when I threw pearls to swine. It's like that sometimes, Dr. Dady. I threw pearls to swine and then got mad when they trampled them underfoot. And then the Lord looked at me and said, but I gave you those pearls and you threw them to the swine. Why your jaws are tight and your teeth are clutched. You did that. I didn't tell you to do that. When you pop out on folks, they start acting brand new and offended. Come on, Dr. Dady. And that is the truth. But I'm telling you, this is where we've got to have balance. We've got to have balance. It's one thing to be the one that's always doing a thing. But then again, I'm saying to those of us, the high road has to go low at some point, KB Browns. I hear you talking. And I'm saying to the extent that it's really not the low road, it really is where you need to pull back, where you need to require something. And then, can I say that? Because some of us don't require anything of anybody. Folks and gets mistreated. Some of y'all's kids mistreat y'all. I'ma tell you. Some of y'all's kin folks mistreat y'all. Some of the closest people to you mistreat you and take you for take advantage of you, and you won't say a mumbling word. I need you to open your mouth and say something. Some of us need to have the balance where that pendulum needs to swing back on that other side because you've gone too far the other way. And I know a lot of times in our journey with God, we try to make sure to go that extra, 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 but sometimes that is unhealthy. Sometimes that is unwise. Sometimes that is not wholesome. And we really need to process and think about that. I learned that balance is good. Achieving harmony is better. We can focus on what's important for that moment without losing sight of other things. Come on here, Dr. Dady. You better talk in this chat because that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We've got to come into that place, beloved. And again, it is easy, tempting, not uncommon to try to go so opposite that other direction that we go way, 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 way too far. And so we've got to, the harmony must be in our lives. And I can't sing anybody else's song but mine, Dr. Dady. And nobody can pull my song out of tune except for me. I'm the only person that can mess my song up, so to speak, because this is a place where I want us to really begin to live daily, where you are in charge and in control of your life. Now, I know people say, honey, God's in control, and I got that. But at the end of the day, God's in control to allow you to be in control. People are so used to us asking how high to jump that when we move without their permission, they get bent out of shape. And man, did you say something right there, Dr. Dady? You really said something. And this is what I mean by, listen, we have matured to a place that you don't need everybody's permission. I touched on this a little bit yesterday. You don't need everybody to affirm you. You don't need everybody to say, okay, we grown folk do grown folk stuff, okay? Grown folk move like grown folk because we're maturing in this. And this is where I want you to live and operate in these days and times. Little children, precious, oh my. But I want us to grow up. I want us to grow up. I want us to mature. I want us to think critically. I want us to assess. I want us to make our own decisions based on our relationship with God and not what somebody's cramming down your throat in manipulation and control. I want you to hear God and have relationship so that you can be free. So as we look at this story today, as I said, this is a hard one. I think I took the lesser of all of them that we had offered to us today. But still, it's a very, very rough story. But there, as I said, there's still gems and jewels to be drawn out of these stories in spite of. And so as I close on today, don't ever forget how you treat people. Those are the same people you might have to come back to. Those and don't treat them right just because you might have to come back to them. Treat them right because it's right to treat them right. Treat them right because it's right to treat them right, not because you might need them one day. We do so many what I call backdoor motives. There are a lot of people that want to be loved. Truck driver, I'm telling you. There are a lot of people that want to be loved. And so their so-called love for you is really a backdoor to trying to manipulate you to love them. It's really not even about you. This backdoor manipulation, this backdoor behavior, this backdoor, it's really for me, but I'm going to act like it's for you. Insert Joseph and his brothers, KB Browns. Come on here. I'm a act like it's for you, but it's really about me. And that is still, at the end of the day, selfishness in full effect. Because if you really are going to treat somebody right, you just treat them right because it's right to do right. It's nice to be nice. I'm not being nice to get nice back. It's right to do right. Let's have that kind of character, that kind of energy. That's how we flow and that's how we operate. All right. And with that, I'm going to pretty much conclude tonight's Bible study because I'm telling you, this story it's a rough one. It's a rough one for me because again, it just gets so into the goriness and the killing, and I just my spirit is beyond that. All right. I see. Listen, DJ Rock and Ron, nothing but love to you. He is a streamer, y'all. I hope you all are following him. Thank you so much, my brother. Along with Truck Driver, that's my Mufasa. Cassandra Isaiah, that's my friend. I love you, sis. DJ Pifu is just a phenomenal brother. If you all are not following him, please follow DJ Pifu. He is a great, great streamer, and I love me some him. Dr. Dady Priest is the high priestess. I love her, and thank you for coming in, and thank you for all your words of wisdom that you always share with us here in the Lion's Den. KB Browns is another brother from another mother. Love you, sir, and thank you for coming on in the Lion's Den tonight. I appreciate you as well. I hope that I have not missed anybody that was in my stream talking tonight. I appreciate you. I hope that, again, even though I don't espouse to the violence and the harm and the hurt and the unliving people, you are so welcome, DJ Pifu. You are just a jewel and a gem. I still feel like there's always something good to be brought out of any situation, out of any scenario. There's something good in there to be learned. I believe that with all my heart. So I hope that there was something said on tonight that blessed you, that benefited you. I love you, and we'll see you back tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. I want you to love yourself first every day, as King Kuji taught us at the very onset of my streaming days back in 2020. Love yourself first every day, and only love is going to conquer hate. And at the end of the day, enjoy the rest of this night. Peace for your journey.